Right, hello again. Let's continue building out this oversized map. If you're randomly just joining in, we are, well, very far from even a third of anything. This is just passengers. We haven't even looked at the vast majority of the 5,000 odd industries. We've done about, well, I can't actually count the number of towns we've done because there's only population rating, which doesn't yield any information on what's being transported. So yeah, well, anyway, we shall continue. And I kind of want one thing we're not going to have are banks. But I'm sorry, I'm just kind of in another window here. First industry is not change log, but fine. Bank. We don't have banks in this game. Okay, so anyway, what I was checking is I've turned off new industries being created throughout the game in the last episode because it wasn't deemed sustainable. But I suddenly had a premonition that we're going to miss out on banks, except there are no banks in FIRS. So just to recap, while at it, we're playing. That's design stuff, lots of trains, lots of vehicles and trams, lots of airplanes which we're not using. Maglev we will be using. Squid 8 fish is for boats. Might use it. I don't know. First 511. There's 5.2, but there's nothing in it that we care about. And these are just for visual. Yeah, 5.2. I don't think I can upgrade anything else. To be honest, like it shouldn't be a breaking change. But I want to make sure that we're still off. Yeah, and that was actually, that has reset. It was 300 in my version. Landscaping object, fine. Okay, apply, yes. The only difference, 511 and 5, they kind of look nice. So you can basically make it look bigger. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't add anything. So the difference between 511 and 5.2 is that whichever particular, I think, chemical related industry doesn't have to spawn far away from or close to, it just deleted me. Oh man, I have to hide all this junk again. Because I must have hit the, what? This is so weird. Whatever. Yeah, anyway, in FIRS 5.20, chemical plants are allowed to spawn farther away from port and something. I don't know. It's not actually relevant for our game. I'm just hoping they bug fixed a few things. Not likely though. Okay, so this is kind of down, and I don't currently want to go much further down, not the least because these are connected. That's connected. It's connected. This one's definitely not connected. and we are not coming down this way because they have trains. Hold on, the music that I'm listening to is a bit loud. There you go. So I said this before, but as you may guess, I'm on a headset, and whatever comes to the headset is not what you're listening to. Which mostly has to do with licensing. Like if I start actually having Miss Monique live from wherever Progressive House mix, playing through background audio here. Did I? Oh, for God's sake. Idiot. I want this. Okay, well, you'll all just casually get stuck anyway. Zooms. Okay, and then anyone that was here is going to redirect there. I'm surprised this is not working out. Well, but my biscuit. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, YouTube for reasons is very specific about music licensing, which is why we're listening to otherwise enjoyable Irish music. If it wasn't MIDI, I would actually enjoy. Hey, I got into the end of the map. FFML. It's not FML. It's OMFG. F anyway. I think we can agree on that part. Kind of want to. Hold on. I am thinking boats. I mean, we are eventually going to have some form of vehicles going the other direction, passenger service, but oh yeah, this is such a bad setup. Yeah. Anyway, so YouTube is very specific on music licensing, and notwithstanding that not everyone might like progressive house, I would get into an ungodly amount of trouble if I mixed in my background music stuff. Cat decided to wake up. I want this here, really. They're going to dislike me anyway. Making this large purely because there's a hotel. Okay, and so that's not connected at all. Sugar. What's actually interesting is that, you still do hear me swear, but I'm actually pretty foul-mouthed, and I'm making a genuine effort not to, not to be, and not to do. Yeah, whatever. I think some of it is cultural. Like, you can get away with saying certain things in British that you can't really say in American, but that's just unfortunate. I mean, no crazy things, no N words, none of that stuff, obviously. Um, I'm convinced I had this question at the beginning of the last episode, end of last episode. And I don't know why I'm here. I shouldn't be here. Give me a moment. I mean, I'm in the right place, but in terms of so hyperconnect should not be in autosave. I'm telling you that. It should be elsewhere. While I'm at it, I should back up my saves. If anyone watches The Boys, it's kind of hilarious because one of the characters is British, and him being pretty foul-mouthed, but also they very heavily play on the idea that he swears in British, which for the American audiences must be amusing, or at least I'm assuming. Whereas for us, it's like, yeah, that's just what life sounds like around here. I mentioned this whenever earlier, but if you listen to my accent, I'm sure you'll pick up that I'm not white from the UK. You are bleep 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 joking. Nope. I've been here 20 years. Oval Mass. Is it the White House? And they should be connected, but we need a slightly better bridge. And this should actually kind of loop around. So once this is done, which is kind of imminent, we shall review a few things. Okay. I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing. Yeah, it's why? Why? Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? do kind of wish that these just looked significantly different. 19, that doesn't need to be large. Hello, cat. I decided to actually wake up proper and stretch. Ah, yeah, this is so I had started to connect things before building this epic long railway. And then I figured this is probably less painful, but these need hooking up. I'm curious how this is doing. You're still negative on lifetime. Sugar. And you don't. Yeah, well, things need doing. Gandalf. Things need doing. We have questions that need answering. That's such an annoying thing. This needs hooking up in here. Okay. That's not going to work, is it? Yeah, I want way too much of a long loop. So if we do this, that, and here, and back, that should cover it. Okay, good. So the next one is going to be our next train. So if that was the original sort of one map distance, and the next one's going to be here. Yeah, just start here. You know, I already forgot what Pudu was. Like, one of these other episodes we looked up, by we I obviously mean myself, but we looked up what some of these place names are. I want to make sure that I can actually build here. Right, and we found a bug in the previous one, which now seems to have dissipated. Okay, fine. So I'm going to just plot this down here. They can then dislike me all they want. I'm not actually going to actively care about stations this time. I will build out the railway and then put down the station when we get there. These things are not helping. Unless it's like glaringly obvious that there's some random town that's about to hit my bum to smithereens, and I'm making myself a huge favor by putting down a station beforehand, blah, 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 blah. But this is actually not going to work. There's a road here. Hello? Now that I said something about stations, well, actually, I am still not obliged to put a station here. It would just be a vaguely sensible. But hey, there's a lake. Tempted to believe I'm too close. Like, if you look at it, I should be more like here. Well, I could just kind of take a mighty obscure down that there dive. Never been here, not seen anything. Shut up. So if I did, like, I want to be on the other side of that town. And that's kind of, well, if, I mean, do I really want to move the whole shebang? I'm bugging my OCD. But I'm not going to. I'll just probably look at it later thinking why I was doing that precisely. Okay. The first stop, I know I said I'm not going to bother with stops. The first stop is going to be like somewhere here. In which case, I don't care about any of this. So I said here. And scratching head, even if you can't hear it. EMU. Can we not bother with this right now? No, the stop has to be here because I have to squeeze in like a 10-odd long station. And come off. Yes. Okay, so now that I said not to bother with stations, this is not going to fit. But, weird. I can add collections. I don't remember seeing that. Well, buddy, you're in the wrong spot, and you are going to be moved. And then just as an FMI, like now we're a bit too far, but next stop would be somewhere there. Ah, ah. Mm, can we stop it? It's like a naughty kid. Keeps misbehaving. No, F5, F4. So that was first stop, second stop, third stop with, yeah, whenever I hit that road, an unmarked town. It's fine, I need that. Nope. Yeah, stop there. Why specifically stop here? Because they're really not going to like me. Once I'm done with them. I'm really going to have problems with the spacing. To the point I'm concerned. Like, I'll still need to take things from here. Like, where's the next stopping candidate? So we were there. Next one's kind of. I have a bunch of lakes. Stop when I'm finished with the water, or the water's finished with me. Yeah, we're not going to build epic long bridges. I don't mind, and I can't do that because there's a fishing thing. Can I? Oh, it's just that we'll be even farther. Not really too terrible. It's not optimal, but no, backtrack a bit. Obviously. So OTTD versions of it anyway. It's one of the few games that I find very much enjoyable, 30 years down the line, which obviously has to do with the fact that it's in active development, because I mentioned this, but I had a cursor look at TT, like the original one, and I had a look at it a few weeks ago. It's, painful. And actually getting hold of it is not difficult. And I don't want that because I'm going to do things. Because you go on, not good old games, but I do that. Yes. Like, you can find TTD or TT without having to go on the torrent sites, basically. And there's No, because I haven't gotten around to dealing with the ships yet. I do want to stop here. Okay, fine. So I was saying finding the old TT game is not difficult, and then you just load it into DOSBox. And that's yet again not difficult. But by modern standards, it's a very painful game. Like things that we just take for granted with regards to quality of life. So this is what I was talking about. We're just going to have so much trouble. Shh. Where do I need to stop? Pretty much soon, actually. Sorry about the noise. I'm just adjusting my headphone. So we stop kind of there. Stop wherever those towns are. Yeah, we'll just have to kind of go down by one. Actually, I want to go the other side. What is going on here? So I said stop somewhere there. We'll have 10 stops, give or take. Nah, just stick it somewhere here. Tram shed happily in the way. Yeah, like old TT, I might actually play bits of it later on YouTube just for the heck of it. But obviously the game is 640 by 480 pixels, which is the least of the quality of life issues. There's just so many things you can't do in it that I would just totally take for granted, including the fact that while the map size is fixed at 128 by 128 or 256 by 256, I don't know, but the number of vehicles is fixed at 256. Like total. I'm reasonably sure. I was like, you the station, yes. So I kind of need to stop somewhere there, but there's so much nothingness here that I'm just going to stop there. Yeah, because this is like total blank. Like you can't do in TT. When you sell a vehicle, because for example, you want to replace them due to old age, and then you buy a new one, you actually have to redo all the stops. It doesn't remember the stops. And so what I distinctly remember was I'm just doing landscaping. I've had enough of this. Is that, yeah, you get all your buses because why not? And 20, 25 years down the line, they're all due for replacement. Is this accepting passengers? It's actually pretty sweet. They'll come to like me eventually. I'll probably have to bribe them because I still kind of want to put, or bribe them with trees really. Still want to put stations here. Mind you, I'm just going to preemptively do this. Yeah, and then you in TT, you just like, hey, I have to replace 100 odd buses, and figure out where they were stopping each. But it's funny because if you are by any chance watching the other playthrough with the ships, initially I was like, ah, no, I don't want to do landscaping. Ah, no, I want to make everything pretty. And then 10 episodes in the game, I'm like, you know what? F it. I'm just like wreaking havoc. And whichever town doesn't like it, off. Okay, so this is going to be one of those where I want to put down gems first, because this is definitely going to be nasty. I'm pretty much going to blank out all that. At which point, because what I want is that this comes up here. Yeah, precisely. And we're still too high up. Like these things. Like, do I really want to build a canal here? I mean, why not? But technically, where's the next stop? Pretty much here sort of thing. Like it's supposed to be a map's distance, more like there. About 15 minutes, and I don't want to build a lock there. Is it here? I think we will be relying heavily on ships though, purely because I can build loads of canals and then just collect all these. Why there has to be a shed here? Yeah. Hello. You are now a misplaced train station, right? Is there an undo button here? Glad I have money. Like someone must be enjoying this. Right, I made it. Great job. The other thing that I had a misconception of was that even though ship collisions are on, I then thought, you know, basically having a river canal just one wide or another if you want would have detrimental effect on the boats. And actually, no, it doesn't matter. So again, it's either a bug. So I want to stop at that lake. Well, it's either a bug or a feature, really, like these things are. Yeah. But more to the point, I need to bother a lot less about making sure that there's enough space for canals because ships don't give a fig. So I still want to stop somewhere here. Okay, we need to think, first of all, but I'm going to, because we had to stop on this side. Far from optimal, but fine. Hold on. Yeah, let's do that. So I think you can put down a station like that. I'll just casually assume that this is for the stockyard or whatever this is, but yeah. I can argue about the livestockness of humans. You haven't figured out I have a particularly dry sense of humor. And dark. I presume if you're still watching, you don't mind that. Alright, where's the next stop? So I had one there, but we're not fully going to land. There's nothing here. Stop there. Okay, we have short of 12 minutes, and I think there's there's a port. One thing to upgrade later is we'll make all of this passenger stuff into maglev, because we're actually only doing passengers. I mean, I don't know. Might just become passengers by the end. Yeah, stop around here. Or I could actually just get into that. this. And then there's going to be another one of these soon. Or maybe because I reloaded. I have no idea. I actually don't have any. Next up, probably where those are. There's nothing here, so just there. And we keep edging off that way. Like if you look at it, we started, notwithstanding the actual slip at the beginning, but we started kind of here. I don't think I can make the map go that way, so it would be a that's a straight line, like here, here, sort of thing, and yeah, no, we are going on the side. So next stop was about where that road is. Yeah, fine. You are. Nope. Station. I think we would have suburban stations by this, I mean city stations by this point, but actually care. We don't have the city stations enabled. It's only started around now-ish. I want to check the usuals. So it was still fourth generation. I think Flatcore might be new. I have to review trains shortly. So I don't want to build. That's my smaller problem. The bigger problem is that you can't have signals in the tunnel. Can we make a... Okay, don't... Oh, this is the end. Hi. I mean, it's not really going to hurt to actually put down the station here, even though there was one just earlier. Which gives me the opportunity, not for that, to review templates. So, Clay, edit. So this is tanks. Okay, I don't want you to do that. I want cargo capacities. That's fine. I want to pin this. I don't care about the rest. So call is template 15. That's the flat cores. Or call. Yeah. I mean, it's 100k per hour, and yeah. I'm thinking next year because that's 51, that's 61. There wasn't a 71. So how about we actually just ignore all this? The one thing I'm kind of curious about is the people stuff. So we're still using these, I think. Yeah, almost sure. Weird. Okay, fine. That sounds about right. Hello. Okay, I'm actually going to cut the video here because it's 56 minutes and I'm going to totally get lost in this. So thanks for watching and let's continue next time. Any likes, comments, subscriptions, subscribes, whatnot, always welcome. And I should get out of the autosave folder. Thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.